Dear students, today we discuss angle and orthogonality in inner product spaces. We just recall the definition of inner product space. An inner product on a real vector space V is a function that associates a real number with each pair of vectors in V, satisfying four axioms. Those axioms are symmetry axiom, additivity axiom, homogeneity axiom, and positivity axiom. We have defined norm and distance also. Norm or length of a vector in a vector space V is denoted by norm V, and it is defined as norm V equal to the square root of the inner product of V with V. The distance between two vectors denoted by duv is defined as norm of u minus v. And a vector having norm 1 is called unit vector. Now here we define angle between two vectors in a vector space. We know that angle between two vectors in the space of ordinary vectors is defined using the dot product. That is, if we consider two vectors A and B in the space of three-dimensional vectors, we know the dot product A dot B is given by modulus of A, modulus of B multiplied with the cos of angle between the two vectors. So from this cos theta, where the theta is the angle between the two vectors, cos theta is given by A dot B divided by modulus of A multiplied with the modulus of B. From this, theta can be obtained like cos inverse A dot B divided by mod A mod B. Similar to that, we define angle between two vectors in any general vector space. So the theta is given by cos inverse u dot v divided by norm u norm v. Here u dot v is the inner product of u and v. We can show that this is meaningful. To define angle between two vectors in this form, first thing we have to note is whether this quantity inside the bracket, this is in between -1 and 1. Then only such an angle can be defined. Here we can see that this u dot v by norm u norm v is in between -1 and 1. For that, we are having the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. If u and v are vectors in a real inner product space V, then modulus of inner product of u with v is less than or equal to norm u norm v. It is called a Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So we have defined the angle between the two vectors in the form theta equal to cos inverse A dot B by mod A mod B. Now using that, you can find the angle between two vectors. We consider this example. M22 is the collection of all 2 by 2 matrices. Here we consider the standard inner product. Norm u, norm v and u dot v we have obtained earlier. Here the inner product of u with v is 16, norm of u root 30, norm of v root 14. This we have obtained earlier, and using that cos theta can be obtained like inner product of u divided by norm u norm v, which is equal to 16 by root 30 root 14. We can evaluate like this. Now we prove an important result regarding norm and distance of vectors in an inner product space. The first one is norm of u plus v is less than or equal to norm u plus norm v. It is called a triangle inequality for vectors. It can be proved in the following way. Norm of u plus v square equal to inner product of u plus v with u plus v. And applying the additivity property, distributing this expression, we can write it like a inner product of u with u plus 2 times inner product of u with v plus inner product of v with the v. We can reduce this into this RHS reduced to norm u square plus 2 times norm u norm v plus norm v square. The equality becoming the inequality. Now it can be written as norm u plus norm v all square. So taking the square root on both sides, we can write this inequality. It is called a triangle inequality for vectors. Similarly, we can obtain triangle inequality for distances also. So by the definition of distance, which is duv equal to norm of u minus v. And applying the triangle inequality for vectors, we can easily derive the triangle inequality for distances. Okay, that you can do at home. Whether it is true, you can check. What you want to do is, in between this, you add a w and subtract. Add and subtract a w and apply the triangle inequality for vectors. Okay, so we have defined angle between two vectors. Now we can consider orthogonality of two vectors. Orthogonality means perpendicularity. We are familiar with the orthogonality. So two vectors u and v in an inner product v are called orthogonal if inner product of the two vectors is 0. നമുക്കറിയാം ordinary vectors in the case two vectors a and b are said to be perpendicular to each other or orthogonal if a dot b equal to 0. Their dot product must be equal to 0. Okay, here equivalent to that, in the case of an inner product space, the vector product of u and v must be equal to 0. And we can see that the orthogonality depends on the inner product. Even if we are considering the same vector space, we can define many inner product in the same vector space itself, and with respect to some inner product, some vectors may be orthogonal. The same vectors need not be orthogonal with respect to some other inner products. For example, if we consider this R2 is the vector space here, u equal to the vector 1, 1, v equal to the vector 1 minus 1. They are orthogonal with the Euclidean inner product. Euclidean inner product is given by u dot v equal to u1 v1 plus u2 v2. Our standard Euclidean inner product. Here it is u1 v1 plus u2 v2, where u1 u2 are the coordinates of u and v1 v2 are the coordinates of v. Okay, now if we consider another inner product, weighted Euclidean inner product, that is, here we consider the next one. Here we are giving the weights also. 3 times u1 v1 plus 2 times u2 v2. Weights are added. And in this case, we consider the inner product uv, and we are getting it is 3 multiplied with the u1 v1. Here it is 3 1 1 plus 2 into 1 into minus 1. The result is 1. It is not equal to 0. So the same two vectors u and v, they are orthogonal with respect to the Euclidean inner product, and they are not orthogonal with respect to the weighted Euclidean inner product mentioned. Now we consider another example. Consider this example 3, orthogonal vectors in M22. In the M22, we consider the inner product. Here U and V are two 2 by 2 matrices. Here the inner product of U and V is given by multiplying the corresponding coordinates or corresponding elements and adding up. 1 into 0 in the corresponding position, here it is 0. Then the second element 0 into V, then 1 into 0, then 1 into 0 again. Multiplying the corresponding elements together and adding up all of them. And we are getting that inner product equal to 0. So in this case, these two vectors are orthogonal to each other. Now we consider the next example. Orthogonal vectors in P2. Here the P2 is the space, vector space of all polynomials with degree less than or equal to 2. And the inner product we have defined here, it is integral minus 1 to 1 p of x q of x dx. If we consider p equal to x and q equal to x square, then norm of p equal to, by this definition, it is the square root of inner product of p with p. So when we compute it, it is integral minus 1 to 1 x into x dx. My integral minus 2 and x square dx. When we evaluate that, we get x cube by 3 in between minus 1 and 1. So 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3. So the result will be 2 by 3. That integral becomes 2 by 3. And the square root of the integral, root of 2 by 3. Similarly, we can compute the norm q using the integration itself. Integral minus 1 to 1 x square into x square dx. And integrating that, we will get it is square root of 2 by 5. And here, inner product of p with q, when we take integral minus 1 to 1 x into x square dx, this is integral minus 1 to 1 x cube dx. And here x cube is an odd function. X cube is odd function. When the function is odd, when we integrate it from minus a to a, in general, even if it is minus a to a, that integration becomes 0. The integral becomes 0. Okay, if it is an even function, the integral become 2 times integral 0 to 1 x cube dx. So here the inner product becomes 0. So we can conclude that vector p and vector q are orthogonal to each other. Here we have obtained the norm also. Norm of p and q we have evaluated. It is just to check that the vectors are not 0 vectors. It 0 vectors alla. Random norm positive ആയിട്ട് norm കിട്ടുന്ന vectors ആണ്. And again their product, inner product becomes 0. Okay. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു vector 0 ആണെങ്കിൽ അത് inner product with any other vector എടുത്താൽ the product becomes 0. ഇവിടെ രണ്ടും non-zero vectors ആണ്. അവരുടെ inner product 0 ആണ്. Okay. Now, there is a generalized theorem for Pythagoras. Pythagoras theorem we know. In the case of a right-angled triangle, we know that base square plus altitude square equal to base square plus altitude square equal to hypotenuse square. Okay, that is the Pythagoras theorem. Similar to that, there is a generalized theorem of Pythagoras, that is, if u and v are orthogonal vectors in a real inner product space, then norm of u plus v square equal to norm u square plus norm v square. So here the condition is that both u and v are orthogonal vectors. Now to prove this, we can consider the LHS norm u plus v square. It is equal to inner product of u plus v with u plus v. Applying the additivity property, it becomes norm u square plus 2 times inner product of u with v plus norm v square. And the vectors are orthogonal, so this portion becomes 0. you get the final result. Norm u square plus norm v square. Okay. Now, we define orthogonal sets and orthonormal sets. A set of vectors, a set of two or more vectors in a real inner product space is said to be orthogonal if all pairs of distinct vectors in the set are orthogonal. Okay, നമ്മളുടെ കളക്ഷനിൽ ഏത് രണ്ട് വെക്ടേഴ്സ് എടുത്താലും അവർ തമ്മിൽ ഓർത്തോഗണൽ ആണെങ്കിൽ the collection of vectors or the set of vectors is said to be an orthogonal set of vectors. Similarly, an orthogonal set in which each vector has norm 1 is called orthonormal set. Orthonormal set എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു set of vectors in which each vector is of norm 1 and they are mutually orthogonal. Okay, അതിനുള്ള ഒരു example. Coming to the example 1, it is v1 equal to triplet 0 1 0, v2 equal to triplet 1 0 1. Similarly, v3 also. We can see that any two vectors from this collection are orthogonal to each other. For that, we can evaluate inner product of v1 with v2, v1 with v3, v2 with v3. All these three inner products become 0. Here it is the standard Euclidean inner product. When we compute v1 inner product of v1 with v2, it becomes 0 into 1 plus 1 into 0 plus 0 into 1. So that is 0. Similarly, the other two inner products are also computed and we get all of them are 0. So this is an example of orthogonal set in R cube. Now, we can see that these are not orthonormal because here norm of v2 is not 1. When we evaluate the norm of v1 is 1 itself. We have obtained this. Norm of v1 is 1 itself. For this vector v2, norm of v2 is square root of 1 square plus 0 square plus 1 square, we get root 2. Similarly, norm of v3, that also you are getting 1 square plus 0 square plus minus 1 square, we are getting root 2. So, if you consider new vectors u1, u2, u3 like u1 equal to v1 by norm v1, we are getting the v1 itself since the norm is 1. u2 equal to v2 by norm v2, that we are getting the vector 1, 0, 1, each of the term we divide with the 2, root 2. So you got this vector. Similarly, u3, v3 divided by norm v3, we get this vectors. Now, we can see that all these three vectors u1, u2, u3 are mutually perpendicular or orthogonal and they are of unit norm. Norm of each of the ui is 1. Okay, norm of u2, if we consider norm of u2, by definition it is norm of v2 by norm v2. By the definition, this is the u2 substituting. So this will be norm of v2 divided by norm of v2 itself, that is 1. After dividing with the norm, the new vector becomes a unit vector. So the u1, u2, u3 are unit vectors. So it forms an orthonormal set. Now, there is a theorem. If v1, v2, etc. vn is an orthogonal set of non-zero vectors in an inner product space, then S is linearly independent. അതായത് if we consider a collection of orthogonal set of non-zero vectors, they will be linearly independent. Okay, അപ്പോൾ അത് നമുക്ക് പ്രൂവ് ചെയ്യാം. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മളിവിടെ പ്രൂഫിന് വേണ്ടി we consider a collection set v1, v2, etc. vn be an orthogonal set. പറയുമ്പോൾ they are mutually perpendicular, mutually orthogonal. Any two vectors if you take, they will be orthogonal. Okay, now we have to prove that they are forming a linearly independent set. ഒരു സെറ്റ് linearly independent ആവണമെങ്കിൽ none of them can be expressed as a combination of others. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ if we take a linear combination of those vectors equal to 0, it will be satisfied only when the coefficients are 0. What we want to prove is assume that k1 v1 plus k2 v2 plus etc. kn vn equal to 0 for some scalars k1 to kn, and you prove that this will be true only if k1 equal to k2 equal to etc. kn equal to 0. ഈ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ട്രൂ ആവണമെങ്കിൽ കോഎഫിഷ്യൻസ് എല്ലാം 0 ആയിരിക്കണം. ഈ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ട്രൂ ആവണമെങ്കിൽ കോഎഫിഷ്യൻസ് മസ്റ്റ് ബി 0. That is what we want to prove. So for that, we consider this equation. Now we take dot product or inner product with vi on both sides. For example, we take inner product with v1 on both sides. So what we will get is k1 v1 plus k2 v2 plus etc. plus kn vn. When we take inner product with v1 on both sides, that also must be 0, because in the right side we take inner product with a 0. That must be 0. Then it is k1. We can use the notation also. For inner product, it will be this notation. So k1 inner product of v1 with v1 plus k2 inner product of v2 with v2 plus etc. plus kn inner product of vn with here v1 with v1 and here v inner product of k1 when we take inner product with the v1, when we take inner product with v1 on both sides, it become k1 inner product of v1 with v1, k2 inner product of v2 with v1 plus etc. plus kn inner product of vn with v1 equal to 0. Here the first term will be k1 norm v1 square. Remaining all the terms will be 0 because they are mutually perpendicular, orthogonal. v2 inner product with v1 is 0. Similarly, vn inner product with the v1 is 0. All these are zeros. Now this implies k1 is 0 because norm of v1 is not equal to 0. Here they are non-zero vectors. So k1 equal to 0. Similarly, taking inner product with the v2 on both sides from the equation, we can obtain k2 equal to 0. Thus, we can prove that each of the k1, k2, etc. kn are zeros. Here what they have taken, it is taking inner product with the vi in general on both sides. So we got ki equal to 0. Similarly, each of the coefficients k1, k2, etc. kn are zeros. So it follows that the vectors v1, v2, v3 are orthogonal set of vectors. They are forming an orthogonal set of vectors. Now we can define orthogonal basis and orthonormal basis. So far we have defined what is an orthogonal set and what is an orthonormal set. Now we can define orthonormal basis of an inner product. It is a basis for B if, just recall that B is maximal independent set. If B is a maximal independent set, or B is a minimal set generating V, or B is a maximal independent set. All these things we have discussed earlier. Now here, such a basis is called orthogonal basis if all the vectors included in the basis are orthogonal to each other. Okay, an orthogonal collection of vectors forming a basis is called an orthogonal basis. And a basis is said to be orthonormal basis if all the vectors in the set is of norm 1. Norm 1 ആയിട്ടുള്ള mutually orthogonal ആയിട്ടുള്ള vectors in a collection forming a basis. It is called orthonormal basis. And here is an example for orthonormal basis for Rn. Rn, here even you can take like 1, 0, 0. So this is the E1. Similarly, E2, En. In the En, last coordinate only is 1. All the remaining coordinates are zeros. Now this is an orthonormal basis for Rn. Each of this E1, E2, etc. En are having norm 1 and they are mutually orthogonal. If we take product of any Ei with Ej, if we take the inner product, it becomes 0 for all I comma j belonging to the collection 1, 2, etc. up to n. This is true. So this form a orthonormal basis for Rn. Similarly, we can consider the vector space of all polynomials with degree less than or equal to n. Similar to the Euclidean product in the case of Rn, here we can define the inner product of P and Q as A0, B0 plus A1, B1 plus etc. An, Bn. That means corresponding coordinates are multiplied and added up. So here the norm of P can be evaluated like square root of inner product of P with P, and it will be square root of A0 square plus A1 square plus etc. plus An square. And here you can see that this set S containing the vectors 1, x square etc. x raised to n, it form an orthonormal basis for the vector space. So the 1 here it is equivalent to the E1. 1 is equivalent to the E1 in the case of the previous example. The x, it is equivalent to the vector E2 having the second coordinate only as 1 and the remaining coordinates as zeros. So the x will be equivalent to that. Similarly, we are getting all these vectors form a orthonormal basis for the vector space P2. Now, this is another example that we have discussed earlier to find an orthonormal set. In the case of R3, here U1, U2, U3, we can check that it is a basis because all these are linearly independent and each of them is having its norm unity and they are mutually orthogonal. So this form a basis for R3 and it is not the standard basis. Standard basis we consider the collection of E1, E2, E3 as described earlier. E1, 1, 0, 0, etc. And this here we are getting U1, U2, U3 is a basis but not the standard basis. A vector space will have so many different bases. Now we have a result to find coordinates relative to a given orthonormal basis. This is a theorem. Let S equal to the set V1, V2, etc. Vn is an orthogonal basis for an inner product space V, and if U is any vector in V, then U can be obtained using this formula, this expression. Similarly, if S is an orthonormal basis, then any vector U can be expressed in this form in terms of the basis vectors. ഒരു വെക്ടറിനെ ഒരു ബേസിക്സ് വെക്ടേഴ്സിന്റെ കോമ്പിനേഷൻ ആയിട്ട് എഴുതുകയാണെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് വിൽ ബി ദ കോർഡിനേറ്റ്സ്, അതാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ കോർഡിനേറ്റ്സ് ആയിട്ട് മാർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇവിടെ കോർഡിനേറ്റ്സ് ആയിട്ട് ഡിസ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് ഇതൊക്കെയായിരിക്കും അതിന്റെ കോർഡിനേറ്റ്സ്. നമ്മൾ യു എന്നുള്ള വെക്ടറിനെ V1, V2, എക്സെട്ര Vn ഈ വെക്ടേഴ്സിന്റെ കോമ്പിനേഷൻ ആയിട്ട് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ കോർഡിനേറ്റ്സ് ആയിട്ട് എന്തൊക്കെ വരുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഇവിടെയുള്ള കോർഡിനേറ്റ്സ്. ഇതെങ്ങനെ കിട്ടും എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഇതിന്റെ സ്പെഷ്യൽ കേസാണ് ബി പാർട്ട്. ഇവിടെ നമ്മുടെ ബേസിസ് ഓർത്തോനോർമൽ ബേസിസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ norm of V1, norm of V2 എല്ലാം 1 ആവും. So the denominators becomes 1. So the expression will be like this. Now to prove that, consider the orthogonal basis S. V1, V2, etc. Vn is a basis for V. Every vector U in V can be expressed in the form U equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus etc. plus Cn Vn. Is C1, C2, etc. Cn, these are called coordinates of the vector U with respect to the basis S. How will you find the coordinates? That is our aim. So to find the coordinate, we take dot product with Vi on both sides. We take dot product with Vi on both sides. Vi, when we take the dot product, left side it will be inner product of U with Vi. Dot product means the inner product. I am mentioning the inner product. So this is equal to inner product of this U with the Vi. Here we can apply the additivity property. We can distribute and we get like this C1 multiplied with the V1 Vi. Similarly the remaining terms. Now we can see that here the vectors are orthogonal. So Vi with Vi, in between there will be a term containing inner product of Vi with Vi. That term only will be the non-zero term. Remaining terms will be zeros. So we get this equal to Ci times inner product of Vi with the Vi. So inner product of U with Vi equal to Ci times norm of Vi square. So the Ci can be evaluated using this formula, Ci. Similarly, each of the C1, C2, etc. Cn can be obtained using the corresponding formulas and we get the required result. And to prove the part B, in that case, all the basis vectors are orthonormal. In that case, norm of the vectors are 1. Then corresponding formula we are getting like this one. Here the denominators becomes just 1. Now we discuss a process called Gram-Schmidt process to find orthogonal basis from a given basis of vectors. And that we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.